Welcome to the Learn Psychology series. Today, we will be discussing behavioral analysis. Let's start with interviews. This common method involves in-depth, diagnostic interviewing. In unstructured interviews, we aim to develop an impression about a person by asking various questions. Structured interviews, on the other hand, follow a set procedure and address very specific questions. Next, we have observation. This involves observing behavior as the basis of behavioral analysis. It requires careful training of the observer and a detailed guideline about analyzing behaviors to assess a person's personality. However, it's important to note that there are some limitations to these methods. For instance, the professional training required for collection of useful data through these methods is quite demanding and time-consuming. Moreover, the maturity of the psychologist is a precondition for obtaining valid data through these techniques. Lastly, the mere presence of the observer may contaminate the results. As a stranger, the observer may influence the behavior of the person being observed and thus not obtain good data. Moving on to behavioral ratings. These are frequently used and are generally taken from people who know the assessee intimately and have interacted with them over a period of time or have had a chance to observe them. Different numbers or descriptive terms are used. However, this method of rating suffers from certain limitations. For example, raters often display certain biases that color their judgments of different traits. This is known as the halo effect. Additionally, raters have a tendency to place individuals either in the middle of the scale, called middle category bias, by avoiding extreme positions, or in the extreme positions, called extreme response bias, by avoiding middle categories on the scale. These tendencies can be overcome by providing raters with appropriate training or by developing such scales in which the response bias is likely to be small. Next up is nomination. This method is often used in obtaining peer assessment. It can be used with persons who have been in long-term interaction. Each person is asked to choose one or more persons of the group with whom they would like to work, study, play or participate in any other activity. The person may also be asked to specify the reason for their choices. This technique has been found to be highly dependable, although it may also be affected by personal biases. Finally, we have situational tests. The most commonly used test of this kind is the situational stress test. It provides us with information about how a person behaves under stressful situations. The person is instructed to play a role for which they are observed. That's all for today's episode of Learn Psychology series on behavioral analysis. Stay tuned for more informative and interesting episodes. Thank you for watching.